It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time to meet Team 314. Tom Crawford, Blue Belly Tom, my longtime broadcast partner covering more than 17 years, regular contributor to the Wolverine.com, and he is the founder of the Crawford Podcasting Network. We missed you last week.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't here, though. I'm telling you, after that debacle in Madison, I don't think I could have stomached that, so I'm glad I wasn't on the slate.
It wasn't the same without you. I'm glad.
All is well in Ann Arbor now, right?
Yes. But, you know, today I was legitimately disappointed in the Lions' loss like I've never been in a long. I actually cared.
Yeah.
I got sucked into that game, and I was bummed at the end, so that's the last time I'm going to get emotionally tied with the Lions, but they played really well.
Rico Beard joins us, and he's a longtime Detroit radio and TV personality. He is a Specs Howard broadcast instructor, recruiting insider, and he is host of the Spartan Beat. That is weekdays from noon to 1, Spotlight Radio Network. Michigan State's offense yesterday.
Yeah,
not the defense.
It was the offense. You knew eventually the offense was going to have to carry this team. They did their job. The defense was tired. They got shredded. It was that little dink and dunk. As I said, it was death by 1,000 dull knives.
And Brian Lewerke decided, hey, I'm just going to get down here at the 1 yard line. I don't want to give Michael Penix Jr. a minute and a half.
Jack will actually talk about that later. I saw he ran it right towards me. I looked in his eyes. He looked at the scoreboard. He slowed down. And I'm thinking to myself, did he just do what I think he did? I mean, that was a savvy move right there. Because I had to ask him, like, well, you're just slow, Brian, or did you know what you were doing? He said he knew what he was doing. I give you the benefit of the doubt.
Also joined tonight by Lindsey Huddleston. He is the founder of Sports Psychology Solutions. He'll be my travel partner next week, going to Columbus, and Press Pass preview that we do every Tuesday.
Correct.
And Saturday. You're looking forward to Saturday?
I'm looking forward to Saturday, going down to the iconic location, the Horseshoe, hanging out with you. Michigan State on the road, a big game after what was almost like a trap game yesterday, Saturday. So we'll see what happens. I look forward to it.
17.5 points, did you say?
17.5.
Good luck with that, Lindsey.
It's going to be tough.
We have seen Michigan State do this before with these kind of spreads, but maybe this is a different Ohio State team.
It could be. They could. They may not respect Michigan State, but newsflash: when you guys go down there, they don't hate Spartans.
Oh no, it's camaraderie,
They
man.
only hate Wolverines.
It's
So when you hear
man.
the story saying, "Oh, be careful driving,"
no,
Right.
It's
You don't have to.
kumbaya.
You don't have to. They love
Unless you put a block M in your back window, you should be all right. We'll be right back. Our Going Green segment brought to you by Graph.
Whether your insurance need is for business, farm and agriculture, or protecting your home and auto, experience the benefit of a local agent who cares about you with the David Chapman Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. Visit davidchapmanagency.com.
Every day, there are doors to open and steps to be taken. There are chapters waiting to be written. There are simple things that mean the world, and things so complex they can change a world. There are decisions to make that make all the difference, and we have a part in all of it every day.
With MSU-FCU's Visa Signature Card, receive 3% cash back on groceries, 2% cash back on gas, travel, and universities, and 1% cash back on everything else. Open your MSU-FCU Visa Signature Card today.
You've got a lot of screens, which means you need super fast internet. Fast enough for everything you love on every device you have. No data caps. All from a company you'll love. Super fast internet for just $24.99 per month.
Wow.
Adding a Napoleon fireplace to your home can turn an ordinary room into a relaxing place where memories are made. Young Brothers in Daly on Michigan Avenue has a showroom filled with beautiful ideas and has been serving the Lansing area for over 125 years.
Thursday Night Football on Fox, NFL Network, and streaming on Prime Video.
It's inventory reduction time at a Graph dealership near you. And the savings have never been better. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a 2019 Chevrolet, the time is now, and Graph is the place.
Get below GM employee pricing on a new Trax, just $167 per month. A new Equinox, just $199 per month. Or get a Silverado Crew Cab, just $179 per month.
It's the inventory reduction sale at a Graf dealership near you. Dad, we're supposed to shrink the prices, not the size of the cars.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet, a trusted friend with 105 years in the automobile business, and Graf Nissan, next door on West Grand River in Okemos. They'll take great care of you as they have on all 7 of my leases and purchases. Go green, go Graf.
Yeah, I thought he was tackled, but we'll go with what he's saying. He's hot. Okay. But you know, I think that it was the right thing to do, and then we just wanted to kick the field goal at the end of the game. We didn't want to score to allow them any time on the clock. You know, that's the way we were going to play it, and everything gets a little tight at the end there with 1 second to go on the clock. You know, got to call timeout. You know, didn't really think he'd run over. Thought we run a quarterback so you can get it a little bit closer, maybe try to score with 5 seconds to go. But
you just got to think what's next, you know? I mean, when we go up by a touchdown and, you know, they tied it up, thinking, all right, it's on us again, let's do it. You know, and it's the moments you live for. It's a clutch situation where we got to get it done, and you get to prove to people that you can do it in those high-pressure situations, and it's exciting and it feels good.
This team showed resiliency. You're kind of used to that, right? Isn't that your calling card?
Yeah. Resiliency is the whole program's calling card, I think. You know, Michigan State, toughness, you know. I think we showed that a lot of mental toughness today.
Mark D'Antonio after win 111, and Matt Sieber, there he is, shows his resiliency, transfers from Buffalo, gives up the scholarship, comes back and gets the 3 touchdowns in 2 weeks, including a big one yesterday. Rico Beard, when you think about Michigan State's offense, 2 late drives, they needed both of them. And a lot of people were wondering if this team could ever score 20 points in a game. I think back a couple weeks after the Arizona State game, what people were saying about the offense. If it hadn't been for the offense yesterday, this team would be 3-2.
Offense definitely bailed them out, Jack. I've been saying it for the longest, and people got upset with me, but this offense has changed. It's gotten better. You just got to give it some patience to let it all click together. And I think each week you're starting to see more and more that they're starting to play together. Lewerke's finding open receivers. Receivers are getting separation. The running game with Elijah Collins, he's finding the holes. Everything is our positive plays moving forward. Now, they just got to they got to play a perfect game. You can't shoot yourself in the foot, no penalties, no turnovers. And Lewerke's only had 1 interception, and I think that was a tip ball interception.
Yeah.
I don't even think that was a real interception.
And he leads the Big Ten in passing yards, completions, attempts. Air D'Antonio.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, they're wide receivers leading the Big Ten. The offense is there. They just have to score points, and they're scoring points.
And Matt Coughlin kicked the field goal they needed. It wouldn't have wanted to be him if he missed it, but it was exactly what Michigan State needed.
Let's not talk about that. He made it. Congratulations, man.
Lindsey Huddleston, there were a lot of people who were saying, oh, this Michigan State team is inconsistent. They're going to be resilient enough to come back and win. Some people in the press box were saying that it might be a 2-touchdown win for Indiana. Did you talk to any of those people?
Yeah, I talk to myself all the time. I was one of those people. You're so kind. You know, I say that because I'd seen some mental toughness and consistency with Michigan State. They have big emotional wins against Western Michigan, and then you'll lose to Arizona State. Big game against Northwestern. So the pendulum was swinging that this was the opportunity, that they weren't mentally tough, that would have happened. When I talked to Raekwon Williams, he said in the third quarter, they didn't panic, and that was the key, and that was able to get them that turnaround they needed to go into the fourth and win the game. So they did a good job, and hopefully they can keep it up.
Tom Crawford, we said that Michigan State had to be 4-1 at this point of the season to have any chance And that's exactly where they are, one of 6 unbeaten teams in conference play at 2-0. As we look at the Michigan State schedule the rest of the way, what do they have to do to make your prediction of 10-2 a reality?
It's possible, but not probable. And the reason is that defense. I mean, I thought this was going to be a historic defense for Michigan State at all 3 levels: D-line, linebacking core, and the secondary.
Gave up 20 straight completions to Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah, 286, a redshirt freshman. I know, and he's a talent, man. He's going to be good by the time he's done. But I just saw some vulnerability that I did not anticipate. Josiah Scott had a bad day. Maybe that was just a bad day. So I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but I don't see them obviously winning at Columbus, and I think it looks real dicey in Wisconsin.
I think they can win at Wisconsin because that's the style that they need to see.
Well, that's true. I mean, Northwestern surprised me.
The 20 complete passes, 16 of those were like 2-3 yard passes. Yeah. So, yes, it was 20 passes.
They were long handoffs, but he still had to deliver the ball, and he did it
He
so
was playing
quickly.
catch. Yeah, he was playing catch. So.
Yeah. So when you think about these next 3 games, Rico, and you've got the bye before the Penn State game, most Spartans be happy with 1 and 2? Have to do a little bit better than that.
I think you got to do a little bit better than that because you dropped the Arizona State game. Honestly, I think they can go 2-1. The Ohio State game, Ohio State's on a roll. They could be the #1 team.
Yeah.
Wisconsin and Penn State, they match up well enough against it. They can win those games.
We will be back in just a minute, and we're going to turn to Ann Arbor. We're going to take a look at Michigan, the 52-0 win over Rutgers. Up next.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoyed giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
Download the Fox 47 News app and stay connected everywhere you go.
Fox 47 is putting our money where it helps most, back into our community with our 3-degree guarantee.
And the team from Trips Collision Center says yes to helping local nonprofits. So we'll be matching every Fox 47 donation dollar for dollar.
$3,550 to the Greater Lansing Food Bank.
I'm just, shocked at how much good this is going to do in the community and how caring our partners, Fox 47, Trips Auto, it really means a lot.
There's a great need out there. It's not just what you stereotypically think of as people in need. It could be someone down the street, it could be an older person, it could be someone that you don't normally think of as being food insecure.
We're looking at well over 9,000 meals to those in need. It's families, kids, seniors. It's going to help a lot of people.
The 3-degree guarantee, only on Fox 47 News.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years with 4 convenient locations. Stores in Mason, Holt, South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most.
Was seeing a lot of good offensive play in practice, and we've seen, that in practice you want to see it in games, and we have seen it in games at times. and at times not. But I would agree with Shea that it felt more like that, because that's it's more the way it runs in practice. I thought it was also really good for substitutions. We've been having some substitution errors in the first 3 games, and for Josh to be there as the play's getting formulated, I mean, he can react to the kind of subs that he wants in the game, who he wants running what particular route or play. So that it flowed much better today. It can still be better, the operation and the mechanics of it, but I thought it took a big leap today.
That's Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh after the 52-0 pounding of Rutgers yesterday at Michigan Stadium. Tom Crawford, you tweeted out that the cure for all of Michigan's maladies might be a date with Rutgers. What do you make of the performance yesterday, considering that they were playing a bad Big Ten team?
Yeah, it's just like in your fever, you take 2 aspirin. You play at Rutgers when you're coming off an embarrassing loss. Yeah, Michigan did what they had to do. I mean, Rutgers is pathetic. So bad, they fired their coach today. I mean, that's how bad Rutgers. I mean, Eastern Michigan has more wins in the Big Ten in the last 3 years than Rutgers does. What does that tell you? So it's a bad football team, but they did what they had to do. They threw the ball, and the biggest thing, they did not turn the ball over in the first possession. Yeah. I mean, that's time to strike up the victors right there. And they hit Nico Collins, Shea did, on a touchdown, and it was off to the races. So what they got to do now is take the execution. They have Josh Gaddis on the sideline now instead of in the box. Yeah. Very similar to what Michigan State's doing right now. So I think that's good. Now they're playing a really, really tough, physically tough Iowa team with a veteran quarterback. Now we'll start to see if Michigan can bounce back.
Tom, at what point do you just say none of that matters because it was Rutgers? I mean, I'm not trying to take away from it.
That's a good point, because every conversation I was in Saturday with my Michigan cohorts, every sentence was ended, yeah, but it's Rutgers.
It's on the sideline. It's Rutgers.
Yeah, but it's Rutgers.
Rico, we can't forget in 2014 when you correctly predicted
I'll be hearing that forever.
Rutgers was going to beat Michigan.
It's on YouTube, people.
And now we have an interim coach, right? And goodbye, Chris Ash. He's got a $9 million buyout?
Yeah, close to $9 million buyout.
He only had 8 victories. He's got a $9 million buyout.
That's a lot of victory.
Best win of the season for him, that $9 million check.
Costly victory.
And he doesn't have to worry about this team anymore. I don't know what you're going to do to Rutgers. Rutgers, in my opinion, never should have been in this league. It was a money grab to get into the New York market.
They almost beat Michigan State and East Lansing last year.
It was a bad team. That's a key word in that sentence? Almost. So, but, yeah, I mean, I guess where do you go? Shianu? Try to bring him back? Because Rutgers is not a job that you want, and Chris Ash showed. If you're going to coach Rutgers, you better get the biggest buyout you can. It's a job you're set up to fail.
Yeah.
Period.
You know, the odd part of this whole thing with Rutgers, guys, is they had a verbal commitment from Saquon Barkley, and they had a verbal commitment from Jonathan Taylor, and they couldn't keep them home at the last minute. In swoops Penn State. Here comes Wisconsin.
All that talent in New Jersey, they can't land it.
There's a lot of it there, no question. Taking a look at the Wolverines' schedule, Lindsay, when you look at this, this is a team that the media in Chicago picked to win the Big Ten East. How many more losses do you see? Can you pick the games you think they might lose?
Well, games that stand out to me, and I say this as Tom is kicking me under the table.
I can't reach that far.
Notre Dame worries me because of that national championship type status.
Yeah.
Michigan State's playing good ball. They've had their number.
Yeah.
And Ohio State at the end. Those 3 worry me.
How about Penn State?
Well, Penn State may be the toss-up. I want to give them a break somewhere, and I'll give them that.
Enrico, you think that Iowa's going to beat Michigan? I don't know about that.
So you got them at 6-6 then, right?
Yeah. It'd be a great game, though, Saturday at Michigan Stadium.
Ranked team on the road, you know you're not beating
Michigan only plays noon games, so we will be right back in just a minute. We'll look at the rest of the Big Ten coming up.
Wow.
Ah, thank you. Frozen food boxes are not recyclable in my area.
What's that smell?
Greasy pizza boxes, not recyclable. Ruins the process.
It's ruining the house, too.
Learn the rules of recycling at recyclingraccoons.org.
Get in the saving zone at Capital Honda, because you should be driving a Honda from Capital Honda.
Run! Get off the pier!
The sun is going down, things are gonna heat up. Stay safe.
911, all new Monday at 8/7 Central on Fox.
At Dart Bank, we support the NFL on Fox 47. And for over 94 years, our purpose has been to positively impact lives and communities.
Wow!
Ah, thank you. Frozen food boxes are not recyclable in my area.
What's that smell?
Greasy pizza boxes, not recyclable. Ruins the process.
It's ruining the house, too.
Learn the rules of recycling at recyclingraccoons.org.
The new Fox Sports app, now with live streaming. Download it from the App Store today.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as the side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
The Student Bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to Northern Michigan and Chicago, where Doug Warren and I were last month for the NFL Legends Classic. That's Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Moves the ball to the 15, first down. Empty backfield, Fields, pump fakes again, has room to run. And he will dive for the end zone. Looking to throw in the flat. Hill's got it, and he scores standing up. Teague breaks a tackle and scores standing up in the backwards. Fields fires to the end zone. Mack dives, caught it for a touchdown. But Fields looking left, launches to the end zone. High throw over the shoulder.
That's the Ohio State Buckeyes for you with Justin Fields. Unbeaten, 2-0 in conference play, 2 blowouts on the road wearing white uniforms. Tom Crawford, just how good are these Ohio State Buckeyes, and are you prepared to pencil them into the college football playoff?
Good Lord, they scare the hell out of me right now. I'm telling you what, J.K. Dobbins, Master Teague the third, Justin Fields, I mean, it's just, they're frightening how, and they can run the football. I mean, they hang 350 on you, run it.
Yeah.
And then that sets up play action, and you got an elusive quarterback. And Ryan Day's talking about how he wants to be the most physical team in the country. That's his number one goal. And if you make that your number one goal with all that talent, I think they're the best team in the country. I think they will be, maybe a little bit shy of Alabama. They would roll Clemson right now. Yeah. They would roll them.
Last week, Justin Fields, 6 touchdowns in 1 quarter. And you think, well, he must be throwing it all over the place. He throws the ball 22 times.
I know.
Right? And that's the productivity he gets. Okay, let's talk about another Big Ten East juggernaut, not from the state of Michigan. Penn State Nittany Lions, I think, have surprised a lot of people. Yeah. Sean Clifford, the job he has done at quarterback, but how about this lead? Again, an absolute nuking of Maryland. Yeah. Rico, are you prepared to issue an apology to the Nittany Lions and your buddy James Franklin?
It's all about coaching, right?
You know what? This was a referendum game. Just like the week before I said Michigan, Wisconsin, I was going to learn a lot about the 2 teams. I said, I'm going to find out which one of these teams is for real, which one's a fraud. Maryland, congratulations. You're wearing the fraud cap this week. Yeah, James Franklin, Penn State. I was shocked when I'm looking at the scoreboard, and they called off the dogs. Yeah. This thing could have got worse.
38-0 a half?
I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know if it's Clifford. I don't know what, but Penn State is just winning. And they got a good defense that gets lost in the – they're putting up points, man.
Maryland and Nebraska had waited for these games, right? This was the game on their schedule. Nebraska was going to do what Iowa had done to Ohio State.
Game
and what Purdue. Yeah, they had everything going for them except
Maryland
the football
canceled
team.
classes for the kids for that day. Friday, canceled, forget classes, blackout. I'm like, okay, blackouts don't work at night because it looks like an empty stadium. And by the time that stadium was over, it was empty.
Lindsey Huddleston, let's take a look at the scores from this week and next week's games, and then also a look at the Big Ten standings. Who had the best week to you, and who had the worst week? I guess Chris Ash had the worst week.
Yeah, sure. Tale of Two Scarlets, that's a real easy one. Ohio State's had the best week. They're doing really well. And then when you fire a coach, I don't care if that's a bad time for your program. There's no leadership. There's inconsistency. So,
can a coach ever want to be fired? I hate to say that, but $9 million, and he doesn't have to go through these head thumpings every week.
Well, I mean, the money is great, but at the end, it's going to be his legacy, and I think all coaches in the end want to win, so I don't think that would be the case.
What about next week's games? We talked about the night game in Columbus, the noon game in Ann Arbor. Anything else jump out to you guys?
Yeah,
Anything
I mean, it'll be the third week of a referendum game. Michigan State is on the clock.
Yeah.
What are the Spartans? What do you do against Ohio State? Do you get your hat handed to you? Do you play a competitive game, or do you go in there and upset them? Because right now, they got knocked out the top 25.
Yeah.
No one really believes in them, and this is going to tell you how good both Ohio State and Michigan State are. So that game.
We also have the battle of the NUs, right? You have Northwestern at Nebraska. And when next week's games are over, we're going to have another undefeated team, the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Do you believe that?
Yeah, they're precarious. They're the worst 4-0 team
getting it done, ladies and gentlemen.
In college football.
I called Minnesota in the West. They've had me sweating those first 4 weeks. But
let's take a look at the standings here now. Lindsey, as you look at the way it's set up, you mentioned 6 teams undefeated in conference play. Who's done well? Who's had the best first month? And who has had the most disappointing start?
I mean, I'm going to sound the same. Ohio State's doing awesome. They're looking like a national championship team right now. So they've had a great month. I think Rutgers, of course, but not to even harp on them. Maryland started out great, with all that firepower, but now what do?
What happened now? We'll be back in just a minute. Our Lansing's Best segment with Lorenzo White up next.
It's inventory reduction time at a Graf dealership near you. And the savings have never been better. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a 2019 Chevrolet, the time is now, and Graf is the place.
Get below GM employee pricing on a new Trax, just $167 per month. A new Equinox, just $199 per month. Or get a Silverado Crew Cab, just $179 per month.
It's the inventory reduction sale at a Graf dealership near you. Dad, we're supposed to shrink the prices, not the size of the cars.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailways Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Adding a Napoleon fireplace to your home can turn an ordinary room into a relaxing place where memories are made. Young Brothers in Daly on Michigan Avenue has a showroom filled with beautiful ideas and has been serving the Lansing area for over 125 years.
In a world in need of integrity, Fox 47 presents a team of superheroes that will rule your daytime. The League of Justice, bringing truth, compassion, humor to a city yearning for fairness, led by the masked crusader Judge Millian.
What business do you have having a minor who's 16 go with you instead of her parents? You're a grown man.
People's Court puts naughty people in their place. Then Paternity Court saves the day by finding out who is your daddy.
I'll dismiss your case and throw you out. Got it?
The mighty Mathis and the sizzling trio of hot bench blaze the trail for the queen of the court, Judge Judy.
Because you were being paid in cash that you weren't reporting.
The League of Justice rules weekdays on Fox 47.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Lansing's Best segment, brought to you by the Greater Lansing Sports Authority, bringing thousands of athletes and teams to Mid-Michigan for hundreds of tournaments and special events. Hats off to the GLSA for showing just what Lansing can be.
December 10th in New York City. And with his induction into the College Football Hall of Fame, Lorenzo White's name at number 34 has been added to the Spartan Stadium Ring of Fame.
There you see a very emotional scene yesterday at Spartan Stadium, end of the first quarter, and Lorenzo White recognized for his induction into the College Football Hall of Fame. It took a while, 32 years to be exact, for the Football Hall of Fame to get the memo. Finally, the induction, December 10th, and Michigan State did it right with the recognition.
Oh, yes. Man, they went out their way to do it, and it was very special. This weekend was very special and had a great time.
Were you surprised by everything and the way it all came together on Friday night? We were over at Breslin Center. I turned around, I'd never seen so many of your former teammates.
Man, that was like having them come back to thank the guys, you know, because they were a part of this, you know. Without them, you know, I couldn't have did it. But, you know, had the guys and being able to joke a little bit, you know, and some of those guys I haven't seen in like maybe, I would say like maybe 15 or 20 some years, but man, it was great to see them.
Some of the stories were fantastic, just to sit there and be a fly in the wall. And they didn't have you guys go out there and run a toss sweep. Nobody said, hey, let's have Buck come back and coach us again, right? None of that?
Listen, but that's one guy I wish
could have been there.
Yeah, I would definitely wish he could have been there.
Yeah. There were three people who were not there, and I want to do a quick impression of these three people. First of all, your quarterback, a fellow Floridian, Bobby McAllister, and you want to see Bobby McAllister's throwing motion?
Oh, yes.
That was it. Pitch outs to Lorenzo White. And in the Indiana game, he only did that 56 times to you.
Wow, you know, looking back on that, and, you know, 56 times, maybe.
George wanted to do it more.
He said it wasn't enough, you know, and I didn't get tired.
Speaking of George Perlis, when I think of him and Lorenzo White, what he would say is, toss left, wait a minute, we're going to mix it up, toss right. That's what he would do, right?
Yes, no matter if it's 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15, you know, Coach Buck and Coach Perlis was like, I guess Coach Buck is the one that was really egging him on.
Yeah.
Coach George, I think we can get it.
Wanted that record. The record was 57 carries in that game, but here you see some highlights of Lorenzo running the ball there against Michigan, Iowa, and you name it. You had big games against so many teams.
Yeah.
Probably none more than the Indiana Hoosiers. There you see a touchdown against, or a long run against USC. Setting up, you beat USC twice. You beat them on Labor Day, and then you beat them again on New Year's Day. But Indiana coach Bill Mallory, who really liked you as a person, couldn't stand you by the time you were done playing, 286 yards in 1985, 292 yards in 1987. We think you might have gotten 450 yards if you had stayed in the game, because you only played 2 plays of the third quarter, and you had 286.
Well, Coach at that time was like, I was playing so much and carried the ball so much, he didn't see, he didn't think that was a good, this was one of them times that I could rest.
Let you rest a little bit.
But the linemen, oh my God, they were having a fit. Don't take him out. Please don't take him out. Let us break the record.
They want to go in the record books?
Yes.
I can understand that. That was about the time I got a call from your mom, one of my favorite people, Gloria Holden, and she said, Mr. Ebling, I'm a little worried about Lorenzo. And I said, why would you be worried about him? He said, well, maybe something happened there. I said, hey, you don't have to worry about him getting in trouble because he has no energy. He carried the ball 53 times one week, 49 the next. That's 102 carries in 8 days.
Wow, that, I look back on that, and if I'm proud about something, being able to be in condition to run the ball like that.
Yeah.
And when I look back at that, that is like one of the things that I'm mostly proud of.
One of the games that fans will never forget, 185 yards against the University of Michigan in 1987 against Bo Schembechler, a guy you used as motivation. He told you you'd never win the Heisman Trophy.
Yes.
But he will be in the College Football Hall of Fame December 10th. Can't wait to be there with you.
For the past 5 years, the Michigan Lottery has recognized outstanding educators from across the state with the Excellence in Education Awards.
Take the time today to nominate an outstanding public educator for an Excellence in Education Award.
Find out more at fox47news.com.
You've got a lot of screens, which means you need super fast internet. Fast enough for everything you love on every device you have. No data caps. All from a company you'll love. Super fast internet for just $24.99 per month.
Tuesday on Fox. I'm doing the most good for the greatest number of people. I need some help here! We will get through it all together. The Resident All New Then and All New Empire.
When you build an empire, you create lots of enemies. And every single one of them has a reason for killing you.
The Resident All New Tuesday, followed by Empire in its final season on Fox.
Download the Fox 47 Storm Shield app and stay in touch everywhere you go.
Your app. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
Touchdown, Falcons.
The Student Bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as a side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. I'm talking about chicken shawarma with baked breast meat and hummus made fresh in a 3-day process. That's why I'm there every week. Stop and see Chuck DeLita and their terrific staff on Trowbridge, or find Woody's favorites at Tom's Foods, Horrocks, or all across MSU's campus. Today, the Detroit Lions at home to face the Kansas City Chiefs. Great crowd at Ford Field. Doug Warren, our Detroit Lions historian, joins us. And Doug, one of the strangest games I have seen Lions, and that goes all the way back to the days playing in Briggs Stadium. They played well, but didn't play quite well enough, dropping that game 34-30.
Yeah, maybe if they'd had another minute on the clock, they would have been able to pull out the win. But the Kansas City Chiefs come back and beat the Detroit Lions. The Lions played pretty good offensively, 186 yards rushing as a team, 125 from Kerryon Johnson. We haven't seen that kind of a running game in a while from the Lions. Maybe that had a little bit more to do with Kansas City's defense and what the Lions were doing. But offensively, this team seems to be clicking. Kenny Galladay, 2 touchdowns. T.J. Hawkinson was having a really good game, especially blocking until that scary play where he got looked like a concussion. We'll see how that shakes out. But Patrick Mahomes and company didn't have a touchdown pass. Mahomes, the Lions held them scoreless in that regard, but Kansas City does enough to pull out the win. And it was kind of one of those games where the last team to have a football was gonna win the game, and it turned out to be the Chiefs.
You see, one of the fumbles, and this was a truly bizarre play. Kerryon Johnson didn't get in, and then all the action stops, and here goes Kansas City back the other way. A 100-yard fumble return, and everyone was saying, that can't be a touchdown. But it was really a 14-point swing, Doug.
Yeah, and that was, I think, a good move by the refs to let the game play. You saw the one referee had his eyes right on the football and saw that the runner was not down and the play was still intact. So, just one of those plays where Kansas City got the break on that one. But the thing I was kind of surprised about, the Lions defense played pretty good for most of the day, but down the stretch, they were only rushing 3 guys, dropping 8 into coverage. That gave Mahomes a lot of time, and you could tell on that final drive especially, it seemed to me anyway, the Lions defense was out of gas, so I was surprised that they didn't try to mix things up and send a couple extra rushers to try to force something for Kansas City rather than just let them have all the time in the world to march down for that winning touchdown.
The Lions came back, and it looked like they might have a shot. They got a couple passes, deep passes, and got a couple seconds back on the clock, but could not convert. Held Patrick Mahomes without a touchdown pass, and a lot of people thought without Darius Slay in the lineup, Quandre Diggs out for most of the game, that Mahomes would throw for close to 400 yards and a bunch of scores. That didn't happen. Meanwhile, the guy who had better stats, Matthew Stafford, and he showed his toughness, a couple plays where playing with the bad hip, sacrificed his body, just wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, no question. And the Lions' leading tacklers were the 2 safeties. So when you see that on the stat sheet, that's another indication that the front 7 wasn't quite getting the job done. Look, the Lions played well, a lot better than people thought, and they have a chance to bounce back over the next 2 weeks with games against Green Bay and Minnesota. So they're still in the thick of the NFC North race.
Critical play was a 4th and 8 scramble by Patrick Mahomes, and as you say, they were dropping 8. It looks so much like the Jaden Daniels scramble against Michigan State.
Exactly. So worried about the quarterback's arm.
Yeah, so they're
Where's
just
the spy?
honoring that a little too much. And when Mahomes decides to go, he's not a prolific runner, but he's very decisive when he does, and he knew exactly where he had to get. When you think about this team now, Doug, could be 4-0, could be 0-4, every play, every game coming down to one play, but I guess that's the National Football League.
Yeah, but we've seen enough good signs out of this team that there seems to be progress in Matt Patricia's 2nd season. And I'm especially happy with what I've seen from the offense because they're actually producing points now. Matthew Stafford looks a little more comfortable. And yeah, he's playing, he's showing his toughness again, but he's got that connection going with Kenny Galladay. And honestly, Marvin Jones had a couple big plays too today. So if the offense goes well, Mike Daniels comes back, Darius Slay, the guys on defense come back healthy, this team could actually be interesting into late November. We'll have to wait and see.
It might be a good time for the Lions to have a week off, get some people a little healthier. When you look at the standings in the NFC North, what has to happen in the month of October to make the second half of the season relevant and interesting?
Well, they got to beat the Vikings and the Packers. If they beat the Packers, then they in all likelihood will be in first place. The Bears, Mitch Trubisky got knocked out today. Don't know how long he'll be out. So that's beneficial to the Lions. So, we'll have to just wait and see how things shake out with this. The Lions have an opportunity. They just have to start winning now and take care of business.
And they're one of the few teams in the NFL that's yet to face a divisional opponent. So they have all of that to look forward to. They have 6 games left with the Packers, the Bears, the Vikings. They can take care of their own business. Doug, thanks so much. Really appreciate you joining us. And when we get back, yes, it's our eulogy, our autopsy for the Detroit Tigers.
Bye, Mom.
Have fun.
Maybe next weekend.
Don't put off till next weekend what you can enjoy doing today. With the affordable John Deere 3E Series, you can handle any job on your property and turn that chore list from to-do to done.
Looks like we had nothing to worry about.
Nothing runs like a Deere.
Ladies, don't let the guys have all the fun. Get your tractor at D&G Equipment in Mason, Williamston, Corunna, Howell, Highland, Charlotte, and Rise Junction.
Fox 47 is putting our money where it helps most back into our community with our 3-degree guarantee. Here's our GM Gary Baxter to tell you how it works.
Every time we get the forecast right, Fox 47 writes a check to a local charity. Get it wrong, we double it. Plus, we partner with Trips Collision Center for some exciting news.
The team at Trips is proud to be a part of the 3-degree guarantee. So we're matching each donation dollar for dollar to help local nonprofits keep Mid-Michigan strong.
I can't believe it's not just me anymore.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, we have a taste for adventure because the only way to know how good something can be is to go for it. Try our veggie smoothies, Island Green, made with spinach, kale, pineapple, banana, and mango. And Caribbean Sea Burst with carrots, mango, banana, orange, and goji. Adventure begins with never knowing until you try, but always expecting something great. Go for a veggie smoothie at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for another Law of the Jungle segment. Brought to you by Forest Acres Golf Courses and Golf MSU. With a wide variety of challenges on the east and west layouts, a terrific 12-month practice facility, and a pro shop with something for every Spartan, Acres is always a grade A facility. Go to golf.msu.edu for great fall specials, one of the best times to play a championship course. Miguel Cabrera, you did hit a home run in the last game of the season today. Miggy, look at those numbers. 47 and 114. 47! Matching the worst record at home in baseball history. Unbelievable performance.
Thank God they didn't have to play 162 games. They only had to play 161.
I mean, when Vegas had the over-under at 62 wins and you failed that far below.
Doug Warren, he said they weren't going to win more than 60 games, and he nailed it. Tom, the long national nightmare for the Tigers is over, finally, mercifully. How should we remember this team? Or shouldn't we?
First of all,
pray for amnesia.
The lowest, the record obviously sticks out. But the lowest attendance, I believe, since 2003?
Yeah.
And I was talking to down in Ann Arbor yesterday, talking to some media who cover the Tigers, and they're saying that's the most inflated numbers. I mean, they look in the stands, and there wasn't even near the amount of people that they were saying if they were there.
Tom, you can't give away tickets.
No, I know.
You can't give away tickets.
But you know what? I think it's also about Major League Baseball. And Major League Baseball this year is supposed to be this parity thing. And Jack likes parity. But they had 4 teams that won 100 plus, and they had 4 teams that lost 100.
Yeah.
So I think the haves and the have-nots are become, there's a division there, and I don't think it's good for MLB in the future.
Yeah. It's like income inequality. No, I won't.
No, I mean, you're right, Tom. I mean, it's when most people couldn't tell you who Bryce Harper was if he walked down the street.
That's true.
It's like there's no face. I mean, we know Justin Verlander because he played here, but
it's almost
whereas
like
the NBA,
it's a niche sport.
It's turned into hockey. Is what it's turned into.
So
and
who do we
boxing.
blame, gentlemen, for what the Tigers did and didn't do this year with the greatest run differential, negative run differential in baseball history at home?
The person you blame won't hear it. It's Mike Ilitch. Mike Ilitch mortgaged this team. He overspent, and then when he died, his kids got stuck with the bill and said, we can't afford this. We got to pare this thing down.
So they offloaded all the talent.
Right. That's why I'm looking like Alavila. He was told, you got to kill. We can't pay all this stuff.
They got rid of a lot of talent, and they got what? Jamer Candelario? I mean, who did they get?
But that's just it. In baseball, it takes time. You got it's one of the most luckiest sports with people because you could get the number one player and prospect, and he's a bum.
Yeah.
And then you get a Mike Piazza drafted in round 66, who's a Hall of Famer. So you really don't know when it comes to baseball.
Lindsay, it is playoffs time, not for the Tigers, but for 10 other teams. And let's take a look at the playoff picture here. Taking away the Astros, Dodgers, and Yankees, give me a team from the other 7 that has some chance to make it to the World Series.
Sure. I mean, you look at the Atlanta Braves, that's a possibility, but also the Minnesota Twins, when you think about them, too.
All the home runs.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is the first time in the season where they've had 100 wins in the franchise history. The last time was 1965 when they lost to the LA Dodgers and Sandy Koufax. So if you're about nostalgia, that's a good thing, too, and maybe they'll try to run with that.
We've got the National League wild card game on Tuesday, the American League on Wednesday. What about the Washington Nationals? What about that idea when you think they got Max Scherzer, they got Steven Strasburg, they got 3 guys they can throw out there. They don't have to worry about their 4th and 5th starters? Possible?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're Washington, you absolutely. And if you get 2 get hot, you just roll with 2.
What about the Brewers? Shout out to Milwaukee, what they did without Christian Yelich, flying by the Cubs. We'll be right back.
It's inventory reduction time at a Graf dealership near you. And the savings have never been better. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a 2019 Chevrolet, the time is now and Graf is the place.
Get below GM employee pricing on a new Trax, just $167 per month. A new Equinox, just $199 per month. Or get a Silverado Crew Cab, just $179 per month.
It's the inventory reduction sale at a Graf dealership near you. Dad, we're supposed to shrink the prices, not the size of the cars.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
The corners of a city street, a table and a cafe seat. I've got you everywhere I go. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I roam. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I go. Whoa, go. Everywhere I go.
Nashville Insider, Saturday night at 11 on My 47.4.
Hike! Get in the savings zone at Capital Honda with game-winning offers on the new 2019 Honda Civic LX, $189 a month, or new 2019 Honda CR-V EX all-wheel drive, $269 a month. You should be driving a Honda from Capital Honda.
Adding a Napoleon fireplace to your home can turn an ordinary room into a relaxing place where memories are made. Young Brothers in Daly on Michigan Avenue has a showroom filled with beautiful ideas and has been serving the Lansing area for over 125 years.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for a cool and smooth segment brought to you by the 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's Welcome to Delicious. Here you see the North Carolina Tar Heels. Yes, they get into the end zone against Clemson. Late signal. Now they're going for the win, not the tie. They're not going to kick the point. Ugh, don't like that play call. Like the decision. Don't like the call.
Boy, is Mac Brown making that much of an impact on this team?
Yeah.
My word.
Well, they got rolled last week. That was an embarrassing loss, but still.
That play was too involved.
Yeah, a little too much there, right?
Moving parts.
Yeah. All right, Team 314. Who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week? Rico Beard, what about our play of the week?
You know what? Actually, it's funny because that play was my 1A play because that stop keeps Clemson relevant. Clemson loses that game.
Yeah.
They're done.
They're done.
They're in a lousy league.
They're gonna finish the year playing no ranked teams.
Yeah.
So
and now they're sitting there pretty.
Right. There's 1/4 of your college football playoff.
Right.
So they play nobody.
Done deal. That's
that stop saved their season. But the play actually has to go to, I got to give it to Brian Lewerke in that play where he actually consciously stops at the 1.
Yeah.
He could have scored, giving the ball back to Indiana, but he gave the defense a break. They ate 50 seconds off the clock. And yes, people, he did decide to go down because think about this. Yeah. If he was trying to score when he got tackled, he would have stretched the ball across. He didn't. He protected.
He
protected the ball. Yeah. So I got to give the play to Brian Lewerke.
And that was right in front of you, Lindsey, where you were on
Absolutely.
the sideline. We were standing down there at the end of the game. What about our game of the week?
It's funny, I'm kind of flip-flopping with Rico. I was thinking about Michigan State versus Indiana, but going back to what we just saw, that Clemson versus North Carolina, the implications it would have had on college football, but also a reminder of the vulnerability each week in, each week out. And I think a lot to be said about Mac Brown and what he brought back. So my game of the week was North Carolina versus Clemson.
We could have known that we would have a new national champion before the end of September.
That's true.
Yeah.
That would have, absolutely.
I mean, a one-loss Clemson doesn't
do it. Tom Crawford, what about our team of the week?
I was so excited. I was going to give it to the Lions in the latter part of this game. I can't do it, though. They lost. So, and I'm going to have, I got to give it to the Ohio State Buckeyes because they are the best freaking team in college football right now. I'm going to give it to them today, and I'm going to give it to them if I'm on the show following January 13th when they win the national championship. They are that good. Defense, they're physical. Chase Young, they make turnovers, they devour you. They remind me of Spurrier's old teams in Florida. How do I get it to 28, to 35, to 42, and on?
You know what? There's a team that I think that's better than them, and it's not Alabama, and it's not Clemson.
And it's not Georgia.
It's not Georgia.
LSU.
It's LSU.
Yeah. We'll see. Let's see when LSU gets into a little more meat in the schedule. Clemson. We will see. Dom, do you think that this might be as good an Ohio State team as you've seen? And we've seen some really good ones.
This goes back to '69 when it was they said, hey, they should be playing the Minnesota Vikings. Hey, what happened November 22nd of 1969? Maybe we might have some deja vu.
Oh, we've seen it with Michigan State in 1974.
Ohio State.
How long has it been since you guys won?
Hey, Michigan State, Rico. 1974, 1998, 2013, 2015, right? Every time Ohio State's a big favorite.
That's true.
Yeah.
Our player of the week, he was just here. Lorenzo White, not for the 1,082 carries, I saw every one of them. Not for the 43 rushing touchdowns. It was for the class he exhibited and the way he made everyone feel Friday night at Breslin Center, the way all of his teammates, all the love that they had for him, the reaction, and now he gets to go to New York where he should have been a long time ago, and being inducted. He's more than Michigan State's greatest offensive player now. He's a Hall of Famer. We will be back next week. I want to thank Bluebelly Tom, Tom Crawford, Rico Beard. Rico, you going to be in Columbus? See you there?
No.
No, he's not going. Not going. Lindsey, it's up to the two of us. We will see you next Sunday. Don't forget, Press Pass Preview Tuesday night. Have a great week, everyone.